Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today I'm going to try build a multi-dimensional house in Minecraft. One house in all three dimensions, the overworld, the nether and the end. Now unfortunately it's quite literally impossible to have one structure spanning over three dimensions in vanilla Minecraft, to my knowledge at least. I'm not going to be able to start at one side of my house in the overworld and end up on the other side in the nether without going through any sort of portal, that is. So I'm going to have to get creative and fabricate the illusion of having that same house throughout all of the dimensions. But before we get multi-dimensional up in here, let's design a house for us to use. I'm going to hop into my creative world and see what I can come up with. I think this should work quite nicely. It's quite a symmetrical build, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for what we're doing here today. It's definitely not my most advanced thing I've ever made, but I think it's quite nice looking. I've also done the interior as you can see, but I will show you that once we set it up in the overworld in a very specific location. And that would be right in the middle of a stronghold end portal room, which as you can see is exactly what we fall into here. Of course, the nether portal doesn't have to be anywhere near as specific as the end portal does. We could literally build this anywhere, but they kind of have to go hand in hand. So this house has been built right over a stronghold. And here's how the interior looks, by the way. Pretty cozy. I'm just trying to make it look nice and homely, like you would have something in a survival world, with the addition of a great big nether portal, something that would maybe be a bit too noisy if you're in here all the time, and of course a chute to get to the end. So before we head down there and fill in all of the ender eyes to complete the end portal, and before we light the nether portal, I have to do something in the overworld first of all, and that is to make our outside area where the house is a little bit nicer. As you can see, I've just had to forcibly copy and paste the build right into this exact location, so we're directly above the portal, and it's in the middle of a forest. So before we go any further with jumping into any other dimensions, let's do a little bit of cleanup here and give this house a bit more breathing space. There we go, I think that's cleaned up quite nicely. We got a bit more room to work with now, although all of the work is going to be now in another dimension. We are pretty much done for the overworld here, aside from lighting the portals. We'll come back to the end one later on, but for right now, we are going to head to the nether. So of course, all we need to do for this is light our nether portal, hop through and hope we get a good spawn, because we're not going to be able to move where this portal is more than a few blocks. And yeah, I can work with this. If we make the front of the house be this side, I can do a bit of terrain clearing here, and we should have a nice pocket for our house to go in. By the way, I have been using Lightmatica, which is just a schematic mod. I know I said I was going to do this in vanilla Minecraft. It's still technically possible, but copy and pasting just saves me so much time instead of having to rebuild this 3 separate times. So yeah, technically it's not really vanilla, but it also kind of is at the same time. So there we go. There it is, placed into the world. Now, once again, I'm just going to mold the terrain a bit, although it's honestly not looking too bad at all. I'm just going to have to break and place a few minor blocks. But as you can see from the inside now, that's awfully bright. If we just get our flint and steel, light this portal, which looks very weird, just bear with me, but when we go through, we should end up back in the overworld again, as you can see, and when we hop back through once again, we are still in the same house. Yep, this is the effect I'm going for. Now is when things start to get a little bit more difficult. We can go back and forth between the nether and the overworld all day long. It doesn't matter where we are, we're going to be able to do it because nether portals are like that. End portals are not. So this is where we have to bend the rules a little bit, and I'm going to have to go really careful I don't click on this bed. Same again when we get to the end. That would be very bad. But there's obviously no end portal in the nether, so we kind of have to do something a little bit different. And I've got a cool idea of maybe something we could do to kind of portray the idea that we've ended up in the end. Oh yes, this is what we want. Pure darkness, except from that tree over on the right hand side. Gonna need to go get rid of that. If you haven't already guessed, we are going to be using maps to create the illusion that we are in the end. Some pure black ones. So I've just made a little bit of a hole underneath where our trapdoor is, and if I put one of these black maps on all of the item frames here, on all 6 sides, we get plunged into absolute darkness. With the exception of that line going all the way around. I'm not really sure how to get rid of that. That kind of ruins the complete loss of depth perception that I was kind of hoping for, but we'll just do our best to ignore that. So if you don't look at the big square going around, you kind of just lose all sense of direction. You don't really know where you're looking, and it's almost like you've just been dropped into the end, but without any sort of island nearby. And then to get back out, well, we just have to go up a little bit, and you know, when we drop in, it looks like this. Kind of scary, if I'm being honest. So this is actually the Nether version of the house all done. We don't need to do anything else in here. We got another portal going to the Overworld. We are, of course, in the Nether. And we've got our fake end portal down here, which is pretty cool. So that's the Nether done. We can now head back to the Overworld and then head down to the Stronghold. And we can figure out how on earth we're going to do it in the end. It's going to get even more tricky. So I've added in all of our ender eyes into the portal with the exception of the last one here, which we're just going to hold off on for a second because I think we need to make our overworld chute down into the portal a bit more similar to the one we have in the Nether. So what I'm thinking we do is replace all of the blocks on the sides here until we get to the bottom down at the portal with black concrete, just to get that pitch black feel that when you drop through the trapdoor you kind of lose where you are. And hopefully when we've got some portal at the bottom there instead of lava, that should increase the feeling. So yeah, let me replace all of these blocks, light the portal or complete the portal, and we'll see what it looks like from up here. Yeah, it's pretty dark. You can just get a glimpse of the portal at the bottom there, which looks really weird because the pixel size does not change no matter how far away you are from the portal. So if we actually go down here, I believe the pixels, yeah, are the complete same size until we get very close to the bottom where something weird is happening. Okay, I don't quite understand what's going on, but it definitely has created whatever I was looking for before. And with that done, we now have the Overworld house complete alongside the Nether house. So yeah, let's jump through down into the end and sort out this mess. We're already off to a great start. Oh yeah, we gotta defeat the Ender Dragon too. That's part of it. I am positive this is the way Mojang intended for you to fight the Ender Dragon. Flying around in creative while it desperately tries to escape you, and it's taking no damage. Okay, I think we're going to actually have to take these out first. Or I could, you know, just go to peaceful. No, okay, you are resilient to the peaceful setting. I had no idea. Did you guys know that? Is that common knowledge? Okay, guess peaceful doesn't work. Let's just go back to hard. This dragon is no match for my pure and utter strength. Oh, he's ran away again. Pure and utter strength. See that hit? So much power in it. Let's just do one more. Oh boy. Okay, that took much longer than I thought it would. Loud noises occur, as they always do when you kill the Ender Dragon. Now she's dead, we can get on with building our house. So the main predicament I think I'm going to have with this end build is we are going to have to start building the house over here on the obsidian platform you spawn in on, or at least nearby there, and end up over here at this portal so we can get back to the overworld. Let alone what we're going to do with the Nether. I haven't even thought about crossing that bridge yet. But the first thing I would like to test is just what we can build on this platform. Does it have to stay obsidian? What happens if we put blocks on top of it? Who knows? Well, you guys probably do. I don't. I'm going to do some testing. Okay, so I'm just placing a couple of blocks in various points around the platform. We got some blocks on top of it, as well as on top of the blocks around the edge. We also have some on the side, as well as some on the diagonal, just like that with the fences. And then I'm thinking if we just maybe do a ring around on the bottom layer here, and I don't even know how this is going to be helpful, but I just want to see if it happens to stay here, because I feel like it used to at least get destroyed whenever you would, you know, re-enter back through. And if that is the case, well, we are gonna have some issues. And I'm gonna have to do some technical stuff, which I am not capable of. So let's head back to, and skip the credits, head back to our overworld house when we eventually load in. I'm at spawn. I really hope I took a screenshot of my coordinates. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I remember doing that. Indeed, I did take a screenshot, and I'm very glad I did, because I'm actually 20,000 blocks away from spawn. This, believe it or not, was the only stronghold that wasn't above a body of water, like an ocean or a river. It took a long time to rifle through all the strongholds in this world. But anyway, let's drop down into our end portal and see what happens to those blocks. Okay, right, so the blocks on the outside survive. That's good, except not really. Well, that's fine. The blocks below survive, but all of the blocks on the platform are now gone. 3 blocks up as well, so it was stacked up like this, 1, 2, 3 in the middle. I wonder if it's like a, because this is a 5x5, maybe it's 5 blocks high. So if we go up 6 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's see what survives there. I got an idea of what we could do if not, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to accomplish that idea, so I'm really hoping at least a couple of those blocks survives. I don't know, let's find out. Oh, good, okay, 3 blocks survives. Okay, so it's only 3 blocks above this obsidian platform that get deleted. Good to know. All right, the next thing I would like to test is what happens if we replace the blocks in the obsidian platform with other blocks. So let's just not get rid of all of them, just these, sure. Okay, now what happens? They return to obsidian. Darn. Okay, well, this end house may have to be slightly different from the others if we're not going to be able to have any other blocks in obsidian. Yeah, oh man, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to have a think. I was not expecting it to be this tricky. I've been dropping myself into this hole and through the portal and just testing stuff with trial and error as to what stays on that obsidian platform, and I have finally found something. As you can see, item frames. I'm pretty sure entities will stay on the platform and not get destroyed, meaning we can use our black maps here, providing they also stay in, which I do not see why they wouldn't. Ah, we have those annoying lines again. Okay, I don't think I can do anything about it because it's not actually on the map. That must just be a map in item frame thing. But if we make like a little bit of a platform or a wall box, that's the word I'm looking for, a box all the way around us here, obviously with the outer blocks outside the obsidian platform here, and kind of enclose ourselves in, it can then look like we're in the end. I just have to find out a way to move myself into the house, which we could build like here or something. I might just have to drop down into it. I've got an idea, but it entirely relies on the fact that water doesn't break item frames, which it, give it a sec, appears to not break item frames. Okay, that's nice. So what I'm thinking is we put a dispenser, a water bucket inside this dispenser here, and then somehow trigger it as soon as we get in, and then hopefully it can maybe push us into a hole somewhere, or maybe just lead us directly to the front door. So maybe if we actually made this block into our doorway of the house, which would go, might actually have to go a little bit further, but we can have our doorway there, and then we should hopefully be automatically pushed right up to the entrance of the house, and we can just walk on in. We're definitely stretching it here, that is for sure, but I think that's fine. I haven't got any ideas other than that currently, so that's my working theory right now. The only thing I need to figure out is how do I turn this on? one very long jump cut later, I have come up with something that I think is perfectly fine. I tried to get an automatic way of pushing myself into the house. I tried a pufferfish detector, but I couldn't quite get that to work. I tried just normal tripwire, but obviously that just disappeared whenever I spawned in. Basically, I don't know enough redstone stuff to be able to do this, so the way that we are going to get into the house is by walking to it. Yep. This is what the end platform looks like now. I haven't tested it to see if it stays like this. I really hope it does. But we basically, you know, just walk on through, go up to the door, and look at that. We're in the house. Yay! That took far too long. I wasted a lot of time there. I should probably make sure that everything I've placed down there does in fact stay in position. So let's just throw myself through the portal here and keep our fingers crossed. It's a bit glitchy, and we have a really weird noise with all the item frames, but hey, it works. We got this mystical illuminated doorway at the end of the tunnel here. Kind of eerie in sensation, but it's fine. There we go. We're now in the house. That looks kind of cool, actually. I really quite like that. So yeah, now we have to figure out what on earth we're going to do with the nether portal, which I don't think you can light in the end. Yeah, no, I didn't think that was a possibility. We're going to have to do something funky there, maybe some like banners or something to make it look like the portal. I think that's going to be as best as we can do. And as for this, I'm going to make it so that when you press the button, you're going to be able to fall into a chute and basically get carried until you end up at the portal where you can then make your way back to the overworld. It's definitely not my finest work, but I think that's gonna have to do it. So all we have left to do is figure out how we're going to get from the bottom of the house here through all of this stone and up to the portal so it can chuck ourselves in without really being able to see any of the end island. I think that's kind of the idea I want to have here. I don't really want to be able to see the outside. I just want it to look as though you've gone in a really long portal. So I think we're going to have to make some use of the black concrete again, or our black maps, one or the other. But yeah, somehow we're going to get from the house over there all the way to the portal without seeing anything else in our surroundings. So what I've done here is simultaneously the most graceful as well as the least graceful way of getting to the portal. It's graceful because, well, we're making use of Dolphin's Grace. And it's ungraceful because, well, I mean, you kind of have to do it all yourself. You don't really just get automatically pushed there. I did try, but this bit is automatic. Oh, really? This worked before. Have to mess with the timings, but the idea is you get piston pushed into the portal. Let's try that again. I have no idea how much of that made it into the video. It probably was none, but basically I was faffing around with the redstone for a little while until I eventually realized something much, much simpler, which is just another water stream. Oh boy, should have done that in the first place. But there we go. We are back in the overworld, meaning we have successfully made the same house in all 3 dimensions. Maybe not, but I've certainly had fun trying to convey that idea. So to end off the video here, let's give all 3 houses a run through and go in all of our quote-unquote portals. Starting with the overworld house here, where we have some roommates. You guys want to go back there? Maybe not. Okay, first things first, let's go through our nether portal from the overworld and we pop out into our nether house replica. Very nice. And I think from here, where we have some more roommates, hey, you guys have come with me. That's kind of cool how that's worked out. Not anymore. We can go to our quote-unquote end. Very nice. And after having a look around the nether for a little while, we can head back inside the same house and then go to the overworld once again, back through the nether portal. Then we can, excuse me sir, drop down to our end portal through this very long portal that it is, into this thing, where we can then go straight forward and, you know, hop into the nether real quick. Cue the portal noises and nether type things. Very nice, very atmospheric. and then we can head back home through our end portal to the overworld using a bit of manual swimming. I'm not enthralled about this. I had some cooler ideas, but none of them unfortunately worked out as expected. That's what you get for being a Minecraft builder, trying to do technical things. But we eventually, with not a lot of effort, end back up at our overworld house. So there we go, everybody. That is gonna do it for this rather strange video, at least in comparison to the rest of my usual ones. So thank you if you've made it all the way to the end here. I really do appreciate it. And if you have, down in the comments below, you can write, what should we have everybody write to confuse the rest of the people who didn't make it to the end? You can write, I made it to the 4th dimension. So write that down in the comments if you're still here listening to me, and I really appreciate it if you are. Thank you ever so much for watching. It was a fun video to make, so I hope you also enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.